so tell us a little bit more about yourself and what the things that you do mean to you.
Okay, I am Jo Rosenthal. Jo
Yes.
is not short for anything. I was named after Jo from Little Women, which is a funny fact that people don't really know. I am originally from Miami, Florida, and I moved to New York about 8 years ago to go to Parsons, where I was a double major in fine arts and writing with a art history minor.
Wow.
And my background is in museums, so my first job was doing tours and information at the MoMA, which was really cool. And then I ended up working at the new museum, doing the same thing, and also working at the bookstore. And I had always made books throughout my life, and I had saved up enough money, and by that time had this like very interesting Instagram following where I would post my fashion and people seemed to be interested. So I saved up enough money and I was like, fuck it, gonna do fashion. And then that is how I ended up here.
Yeah.
And then I always wanted to write, so I just, when I was in college, I interned at Vice, Nylon, and ID. And then for 2 different stylists. And so fashion was kind of always in my blood, so that's how I ended up here. Jobless, looking for freelance work. If anyone watching this has any freelance opportunities.
Yeah. And what about your art? Like, are you still, I feel like your Instagram, like, yes, it's fashion, but it's also, to me, it's very artistic, and I feel like it's very different, you know, from like the typical fashion blog or fashion publication. So, like, how do you feel like your art has inspired your fashion?
I think I always use my art as a way to like cope with things. So I've dealt with a lot of like strangely traumatic things throughout my life, which now I'm just starting to like process and figure out how to deal with.
Yeah.
And I want to be as open as I can about that, because I feel like it makes everybody able to relate to each other better if we can talk about how we feel emotionally. And so my art kind of, whenever I'm going through something that like has really, really affected me, I kind of make art about it.
Yeah. Have you created anything during this time?
Yeah, I did a reading like last week. Every day feels the same. I honestly don't know like
Yeah. No, seriously.
But I finished, I updated this book where I painted everyone I've ever kissed. And so I've been working on that. I've also been making clothes again. I briefly studied fashion design, and so I know how to use a sewing machine, and so I've been making clothes and been trying to make masks. Just trying to be productive, but every day is different. Some days I literally just sit in my bed all day like weeping.
Girl, I mean, I find that it's just, you have to give your space for that too, you know? Like, you can't just, I don't know, how do you stay motivated? Because I need to give myself space to just be sad for a second, and then I can keep going, you know?
Some days I don't. I want to like tell people to not put so much pressure on themselves to like make your greatest work or like to feel motivated, because it's not realistic. Like, you can't be really great,
No,
because you are
absolutely.
really great, and you just like make the work when it feels right.
Yeah, and maybe now is not the best time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but if you have like a burst of inspiration, you should just like write it down, or like if you wake up in the middle of the night, like write down how it literally keeps calling me.
Oh no. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, you broke up, so I couldn't hear some of it also. But anyway, so moving on. Burst of inspiration, that's really cool. I know, I love also how you are so transparent, and I feel like that's like your falling, but like, have you had any backlashes that haven't been as positive with you being so vulnerable and like motivated by your feelings?
Well, I can definitely say it's hard to go on dates. It's hard. Like, I try and not bring up my social media immediately, because I just feel like people, when you have some sort of Instagram following, they look at you differently, or they think that you're kind of like in it for like some sort of fame, which I'm not. And I always like to say that like every time I get more followers,
timer's done, but I will let you finish your thought. Yes.
Okay. Every time I gain followers, I feel like I lose friends in real life, and so I'm really trying to figure out how to cope with that, because that's been like the only negative effect. I've rarely been cyberbullied, because I think that I'm just trying to be my real, authentic self, and no one can take that away from me.
Yeah. Why do you think that is, that you feel like you're losing friends when you're gaining followers?
I just feel like it's probably like a natural part of like this like weird world that we live in. Like, people assume that you have a lot of friends or that you're doing really well, but they don't ever like check in on you in real life. And so like you kind of like lose your ability to see people in real life, and you only see them over social media. So then people assume that you're still friends, but then you're just like, oh, I actually haven't seen you in like months.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, well, just to conclude, what is one thing that you could, if you could talk to someone in the industry that could change everything, like what is one suggestion that you would give someone in the industry right now to like make things better, or like what is your hope for the industry right now?
I really, really think that now is the time for all of us to support each other. I think that people with followings need to do their part to shout out brands, shout out people who are losing their jobs. I'll be the first to say that I've lost so much of my freelance work. So I'm like, how am I going to do my next thing? So for people who have a following or who make an impact on other groups of people, I think now is the time to really give shout outs to people who need help, because so many people need help. We need help in every aspect, from like hospitals to churches to like food banks. So like if you can do your part, just like give somebody a little bit of help.
I really hope, like, I think my hope for this whole time is that we'll all come out better, I don't think that things will ever be exactly the same. Like, I don't think that this is just gonna go away and then, we're all just gonna emerge from our homes and life will just go as if nothing happened. Like, I don't think that that's what's gonna happen, so I just hope that we all can come out a little bit better out of this,
I totally agree with you, and I think that you're one of the people who I've always looked at for being like really inspiring and helpful and like spreading a really good message. So I hope people are inspired by that too.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Jo. And like I said, this was all recorded, so it's going to go on IGTV. Everyone that's watching that's not already following Jo, you all should.
And you too. Same with Haus. They represent probably my favorite brands.
That's really sweet.
I literally have the Naya Ray dress on my bed right here. You have to check
out.
Oh,
which one? Which one do you have?
The white one with the poofy sleeves. It's really
cool. Yes. I have that one too. I love it so much.
It's a big fan. So check out their brands. They have the best brands.
I know, we went so serious. I never know if I should go into more like fashion direction with these things, or but I think it's nice for people to just be transparent and just talk about what we care about right now,
Yeah, exactly. Like, we need to put fashion aside right now and talk about like social issues and how we can be better friends to each other. But we can stay fashionable. Like, make sure you put on an outfit when you do that.
I know, I totally dressed up today for the occasion.
I'm wearing my
favorite.
I love yours.
You look so cute in it. I love it. All right, well, thank you so much. It was so good talking to you.
Thank you too. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.